Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comic Book Burrito Extra Beef. My name's Darien.
My name's Landon.
And today, we're going to review, talk about, discuss, I don't know. We watched Super/Man, Christopher Reeve's story.
Yes.
It came out in theaters the 21st and the 25th. Wide release on the 11th.
So we had to see it early.
Yeah. But we watched that. Now, disclaimer. I don't feel like putting a number on this is the morally correct thing to do.
He was a 7.
Yeah, so we're not gonna review it like that. We're mainly just gonna talk about it, talk about stuff we didn't know, stuff that impressed us, so like just talk about the documentary and things we learned. Really just get into it because there's really nothing. I mean, what are you expecting going into it? I was expecting to cry.
So we were definitely expecting this was definitely gonna be a tearjerker because I mean if you know the story already, were you surprised by some of the information? Yeah, I was too. Did you know how he became paralyzed, or did you just okay?
Of course.
I found out. I can't remember when I found out, but like the I mean, I was expecting. I was like, this movie's gonna be sad. You know, I don't think it's really gonna tell me anything new. But just like, oh, this guy was Superman, but I was paralyzed, and it's like kind of came over. I'm like, well, I feel like I already kind of know this stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it really surprised me with like the new information given of how his life was when he was a kid. I didn't know he had 2 different wives.
I didn't either.
I was very unaware of that. I don't know how I forgot this. I forgot he had 2 other children besides Will.
Mm-hmm. And he had them with the other.
I'm trying to remember if there was anything. I guess the later life stuff I was very unaware of. But what about you? What were you?
I didn't know much about his stuff. I knew he had I know he had Will, his son, and I knew about the accident and what all happened, but I didn't know like any specifics. So this is all sort of a learning thing for me too. I was hearing about it. But I mean, let me see, 4 times. I was shed some tears.
I cried twice. I can't remember the parts at the moment. I think it was definitely the part where, and it's funny because I kept quoting it because I was like, none of it sounded funny, but I was just like, him like talking about like all the stuff he can't do no more, and you know what really was. It's coming to me. It's his wife, Dana coming in and like, so like, I'll never leave you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, because he can't do nothing, and I couldn't imagine the pressure on someone of like, I don't want to sound mean, but like you're basically a single parent now.
Yeah.
And you have to take care of your spouse. You have to take care of your child and your 2 other stepchildren.
And it sucked for Chris too. I mean, obviously, but like, I mean, they showed that he's very active,
guy. Yeah, he was very competitive.
Yeah, and so having all of that, he had a line at one point where he was like, where I went from being a participant to an observer, and he said it was a really hard thing to come to grips with. Like that's got to be awful. Like you can't go and play with your kids anymore.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean that's what he loved. I mean, again, Will was what, 2?
I think so.
He just turned 3 when it happened, or he was like a week.
Yeah, they had his birthday party at the hospital.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was so young to even like really realize what was going on.
Yeah. Was he even old enough? How old was he when Chris Reeve died?
He was in his teens.
So he remembered.
I think it was like 12 or 13.
I couldn't remember if he would like remember.
Because he was doing it. Because I thought it was like he was like that for like 10 years.
I can't remember.
I want to say he was in his teens.
I know in 1995 was when the accident happened.
And if he was 3 around that time, and he died in 2005.
About 10 years, yeah.
So yeah, he would have been like 13, 12 years old.
It's, and you get to the point they talk about Robin Williams and their friendship or whatever.
They have a Robin Williams documentary bit in it too, talking about like their relationship, their friendship, of how I didn't know this either. They mentioned how they were roommates.
Yeah.
Hates, and they went to the same class of theater. And they brought out this. I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna get to it, but they brought up this, like, what they think would probably happen, and I don't know if you believe it. I mean, I kind of believe it. Of probably Robin Williams would still be around.
Yeah.
If Chris was.
Yeah. It's rough.
You better cry just talking about this movie.
It's really sad. I mean, seeing like the footage of Robin Williams doing the speech or whatever at the thing.
A funeral, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought it was really. I mean, there's a lot of parts that's really inspiring in the thing. I mean, he had this accident, and he's doing all this research, trying to figure out how he can fix this, how he can get out of the chair.
Yeah.
He went to the some Hollywood show.
Oh yeah, it was it was like it wasn't the Oscars, was it? Or,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that was the funniest thing.
He was there. They like, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Reeve, and then the
curtains go. He's in the chair,
there, and he says, I'm not might butcher this a little bit, but he was.
Yeah, a lot of you don't know this.
Yeah, a lot of you don't know this, but he says, I actually left
early September
to come here. Or he was like, I actually left early September, and I just got here.
It's crazy still being that, like, dude, he still like kept a smile on, you know what I'm saying? And it was very, very heartwarming, and it was again, it wasn't. I don't want to sound. It wasn't like a pity laugh, like, oh man, poor guy, I'm gonna laugh. It was really fun, and like, dude, even in his condition, he was still a good guy. You know what I'm saying? And he, I haven't seen the episode in Smallville he appears in, but I'm sure he was great in that. He even directed a movie.
Yeah, which didn't do great, but he directed it.
Yeah, I mean, still, that's cool. Like, I couldn't.
And he still acted too. I mean, obviously Smallville, and he was in a movie where he played a patient who couldn't walk.
Yeah.
But let me see. So I mean, they go and all that. Dana does end up. She died a couple years after him.
I think it was just a
year. It was
about like maybe a year and a half. Because I mean,
it was 18 months.
Poor Will, man. His dad dies. Following that, his grandmother, then his mom, within like an 18-month time span. So, and that was
that was sad to see him talk about that. 'Cause he was like, after that, he said, I had nothing.
I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, because you lost, because you're 13 years old. I mean, probably 14 maybe when his mom died. So, and I mean, she had stage 4 lung cancer.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
I don't know. It's never smoked. Like, it was insane. And apparently, I mean, obviously, it's your dad and mom die, and then a grandparent. So it was very close.
So like the siblings end up having to kind of raise him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, his one sibling
was his older brother or sister.
It was his brother, but I'm not remembering his name at the moment. He stepped in to help kind of raise him and help out the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So went into that. Let's see. I'm trying to think about some other stuff.
We were talking a bit about his I guess later family. I mean, we can go back to his first wife. I can't remember her name.
I am not remembering. She was from England.
From England, because they were shooting Superman around there. Or she was from they met on a soundstage because he was filming Superman, and I think they were at like a food court or something. They bump into each other, and he says, he doesn't say, "Oh, sorry, oh my bad." He says, "Oh, hey there."
Yeah.
And and she's like, "Oh, you're supposed to say sorry," and they kind of go away. They later meet up with like Richard Donner there, or like a producer she was hanging out with, and then Superman. Then they just start dating. What I love about documentaries about people is it always shows you the good side, and it does show you their flaws.
Yeah.
In a way, like I correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't want to say nothing ill. It kind of hints at that after his kind of divorce, or not even after his first divorce, he just, while he was married, he kind of had, because I guess got married kind of young. They never married. So it wasn't even really a divorce, more of a split.
And they talked about a little bit that he was sort of might be where you were going.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is.
I don't want to say a player.
I don't want to say. I was gonna say. I mean, ladies' man, but that's not really like what I'm going for.
Is
He
that?
was he was hopping around. He was
Yeah.
like, there's a term for it they use in the movie. I can't remember what it was.
Mm.
But he was known as like the something and leave it or drop. I don't remember. Oh my gosh, they gave it a term. It's like a term.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I can't
Yeah,
remember it either. But you know, he'd be with some women.
and then let
Had
them
a,
leave him. Yeah,
yeah.
but that he was younger, and he said he didn't like he was regretful of those days.
Yeah, and you know, again, being young and stuff. I mean, I can't, you know, being a guy here, you know, I can't say like I'm not saying I would do the same or anything like that. But you know, when you're
Use it
freaking
and lose it.
when you're you know, excuse me, hot shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're Superman. I mean, you're the face of everywhere. Everyone loves you. You're a fit guy, you
And that
know.
ended up being a problem a little bit for him because he was tired of people just associating him with Superman.
Yeah, because he tried to do other movie roles and everybody still saw him as Superman. And that's still a lot of
And he
stuff
ended up doing
actors
four
think.
Supermans. I didn't know so much that Superman 4, he was just so like, I just don't want to be here.
It was, he started really feeling it with 3 and he wasn't going to do 4.
Yeah.
The only reason why I do it, and you can see it in the movie, if you ever, have you ever seen Superman 4?
No.
I've never seen it myself, but I just know
He did creative stuff in it.
he did. Yeah, because there, I think Cold War was kind of going on around that time, and so there's like a big speech and about talking about nuclear war, how it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, it's
that's what it's all about. I mean, you got Nuclear Man in it. I mean, and that's what's really bad. That's the only reason why he did it. And again, I can't blame him for that either.
yeah. I'm
Um,
surprised. Well, I guess maybe they. I guess it really wasn't important that they could have talked about it.
yeah.
About yeah, plus that happened like way after he died. But who plays Lois Lane?
I can't remember her name.
Kidder, Margot Kidder.
Right.
She died with like overdose
Yeah.
back in like 20 something.
Mm.
But I guess they really couldn't talk about that. But that was like another thing. I mean, I think she was semi close to him.
Yeah, very close. I was wondering if
I don't think too much to
I,
talk about.
I don't know why I thought Gene Hackman would be in the movie. I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, we know they talked about that they asked like what was it like to work with Marlon Brando, and he was like, oh, it was great. He was no, it was Gene. They were like, what was working with Gene Hackman? He was like, oh, he was great and all that blah blah. And then they asked about Marlon Brando, and then he was like, yeah, he was just there with a paycheck.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't blame. I mean, dude was in The
I didn't
Godfather.
really,
I mean, yeah, that's what I figured. I know Gene Hackman. He wanted to like rehearse lines with him and stuff, and he's like, yeah, sure. It was really cool.
Yeah, I guess he's alive still. I guess
he's still
I
like in
guess
his
he just
90s.
didn't want to. Maybe just
I mean, he's probably really old. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I ain't forgetting nothing here.
But
you're going to talk about like a bit of controversy with him. Again, we're not speaking ill. I'm just it's what happened, you know. The commercial he did, where he was able to walk. A lot of people with you know, handicap, you know, who are handicapped and you know, physically or you know, mentally, they saw it. They were very upset with that commercial. If you don't know the commercial, it's I don't. It's kind of like, I don't know how to really describe it. I don't know what the whole like setting is, but it's a guy, you know, guy on stage talking about like, you know, we've made advances in medical science, hence, and you know, we had our first test or whatever, and we finally have a man walking.
Yeah.
And you know, you see someone get out of the chair. You don't see who it is. You just see a man in a suit get out of the chair. See the close on the footsteps. Everybody's like looking at the TVs. You see like a hospital, like a child trying to walk, looks at the TV and they're in awe. And it's revealed it's Christopher Reeve. You know, they like CGI'd his face on you know the guy. And many people took offense to that due to like they saw it as like, oh, we're a problem.
Yeah.
In a way, and as far as I think, anyways, I don't think that's what really was trying to come across. But I mean, what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was more or less like because I mean, he wanted to walk. I mean, you know, when you're getting that taken away from you, I mean, for one, he probably. You know, I mean, he used it to all of his ability, but at the same time, when that gets taken away, you don't realize how
much you needed that.
how much you needed that, or how you know how um, privileged. You know what I'm saying with that, and I don't know. At least I didn't see it that way, but I can definitely understand someone's like, yeah, this commercial acted like we were me not walking is a problem when it's me. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'll turn my phone off.
And there really isn't, but I can't blame him for if he wanted to give people hope. Who really wanted to. I mean, I can imagine being in a wheelchair and like not, you want to really like just run, just run out in the field somewhere, and I think that's all he was really trying to do, just give people hope with stuff.
We get to this point too where he's been in the chair for a while. I would say about like 8 years.
Yeah, he wasn't walking for like 7,
8 years. It was a while, enough to a point where the infection set in his body from whatever, because he was sitting for so long.
Yeah.
And not being active. But it's they get to the point where he was starting to he could kind of
his wife would say something and his finger would start moving.
Yeah.
And then they
which is like this, like that, even that little thing. It's
like whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and then they showed him in the pool when he was able to move his legs a little bit. And he was starting to be able to move around with like the stuff that was going on. The biggest issue, and I'm pretty sure is what ended up really causing him not to be able to do too much, is because he couldn't get off the ventilator.
He just couldn't.
Yeah, he wanted to, but he just couldn't. So he had the ventilator on. But he was ended up moving, and they said they believe that he would have been walking if I weren't for that infection.
You think if he had more time?
Yeah.
Let's say like an extra 15 years.
Yeah, he would have been walking.
That'd been crazy.
Yeah, he'd be alive now.
But
yeah, I mean the infection set in, and it got him. Trying to think. I mean, then now there's other disabled people that are being able to walk because of the research that you did. There was the Christopher Reeve Foundation. His kids run now.
Yeah.
Will was there. He's a news anchor in real life, but he's cameoing in the new Superman movie.
Yeah, which I'm very happy to see.
And yeah, I mean there's really not much else to talk about. The music for the documentary I thought was really good.
I want to talk about the opening here real quick.
Which you took the
Well, the DC logo, because we talked about it here on the regular episode of how cool it was to see it in the theater, and very it just felt right, seeing a classic Superman. Then it's like, man, I'm seeing a movie by Christopher Reeve. It's awesome, and obviously the opening.
Yeah.
I know they've probably done re-releases of it. I wouldn't be surprised. But if they ever do, I'd love to see it in theaters.
Superman?
Superman, yes, yeah. Christopher Reeve movie. But hearing the John Williams theme and seeing clips of, Superman flying around doing his thing and just hearing that bum, 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 and it was really cool. And it definitely, it got me in the mood. I'm like, I'm excited to watch this now. This is going to be great.
I agree. DC Studios logo was cool. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to talk about.
I don't really want to give away too much. I'd say go out and see it.
Yeah.
It comes out in, if it ever comes out in digital or, physical.
I do like one thing they do in the documentary. When they'll cut away in between like big moments, they'll cut away to like the statue of the man.
Oh yeah, I know. Ever saw like a, they're about his whole body.
Yeah, and it shows like the kryptonite growing
on his spine. Yeah. And take this with what you will, because I can't remember if it was Will Reeve or his older son that said this. You could say it's unlucky or lucky, but they were talking about how he was just 2 inches away. To the right, he would have been dead. Yeah. To the left, he would have been walking. And it's just he just got in that in between.
That was his older son.
It was his older son that said that, and I couldn't even imagine the chances. It's insane.
And they said all it was the horse that he had been training this whole time. Right when they were getting ready to jump a hurdle, it just decided not to jump.
Was it after? Or I thought it jumped, but then it just stopped, midair, kind of.
I heard that he was getting ready to jump, and then it just kind of stopped and it slung.
That might have been what it was, because it shows the footage, and it's kind of interesting because he gets up for a minute.
That footage I don't think was.
That was it. Okay, because I thought it I
think that was just showing
kind of what. Yeah. Okay, because I can't remember.
I don't think they ever got footage.
Because I was like, it looks like, I swear there was. I thought I remember looking at it back in the day.
Maybe, but I don't think that was.
It doesn't matter, anyways. But it was insane. Consider it lucky or unlucky, of just how much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even with that, he was still like, I mean, some people would just give up, you know, and be like, dude, I can't do anything.
I mean,
you
even
know?
it's a testament to show that, like, I mean, this guy who got cast to play Superman, who's now in a wheelchair. They talk about, like, Superman's in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
and he has the guts to come out with it publicly, and then all the stuff he did. I'm like, this is like,
Still be like the kindest
and
man
there's
ever.
like
Yeah.
no other. There's like no other comparison to it other than to say that this guy is like Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like he would literally talk to people and he. Oh my
And
god.
in the hospital,
Yes.
yeah. But he would go up to people, just talk to people we normally never talk to.
Yeah.
And he said that one kid, he was scared about getting something done. I can't remember what it was. And Christopher Reeve went in there, talked to him, and he said he wanted to do it. And they were like, "What made you change your mind?" And he was like, "I talked to Christopher Reeve."
I don't know. Even I think he just said I talked to Superman. I think that's what he said.
Oh, he might have been.
But I mean, I couldn't. And that just showed. I mean, he was Superman. I mean, and that's perfect. And you know, no matter what you thought he did that like kind of looked bad or was shady, it I think deep down he always had a good heart.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'm sure.
And this ain't you know. You know, he's Superman, so we got to bow down to him. Like, and it's the truth, you know.
And I'm sure that they left some stuff out of the documentary.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, most of them do, but I mean, it was, gosh, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really well made documentary.
Yes, really well made. I love the because it's not like it just you know he was very back in the past and we're just going forward. It goes back and forth. And originally I thought I would hate that, but it works so smoothly. And I'm like, I like this. You know, it talks about he being Christopher Reeve just went in the hospital now. They'll go back and it's like, yeah, this was him you know, in his younger years when he was first trying out, you know, in theater and he just got the role for Superman, you know.
And it was nice to see when he was in the wheelchair. I mean, him still smiling. He was happy. Like, he was with his family. Even if his quality of life wasn't great. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like we touched most of the stuff that we really could talk about. Other than like, I mean, just it's a great documentary.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend on the 11th of October, nationwide. Go check it out. I don't know if tickets are on sale yet, but they'll be soon. If not, I don't know if maybe they might do pre-orders. I don't know.
Yeah.
But go check it out. I want to check what it's at in Rotten Tomatoes right now. I know a lot of people are enjoying it. Oh yeah.
Last time we checked, it was 100 on both ends, both audience and critics. It was a very very well made film. I know we already said we ain't gonna put a rating on it, but it's the best rating I can give it is go watch it. You know, it was.
Turn the TV on.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sorry, yeah, I need the second screen for some reason. This thing didn't come up.
No, I got you. It was just it was a well made movie. I recommend anyone who's remotely interested or just want a nice nice story for the you want someone to win. I'd say this is it because I mean, regardless if he didn't walk or not, he was still I don't know he was still there. You know what I'm saying? He was still there for 100.
Who did that?
I know who did that.
Oh no, 100% for critics, 99% for Rotten Tomatoes. I'm kind of curious why it's a 99% for critics. Like what? There's got to be bad. I mean, that means there's a bad review. So I want to know what this bad review is. What?
We'll give him your username and y'all go hunt him.
Is there not a
your filter? Here, go up. I don't know. Never mind. I don't know.
Okay, hold up.
We're gonna find this guy.
We'll find it. Hold up. We're gonna find the inspirational and moving documentary about Christopher Reeve that had me and my daughters close to or in tears the entire movie. It showed his great courage, fighting for disability rights after his horrific accident horse riding. I knew it would affect me this way just from watching the trailer and it did not disappoint me. What? Okay, maybe that was an accident. Okay, what is this? Great documentary, best of the year so far. Definitely should get an Oscar nomination. Oh yeah, you think that'll happen?
An Oscar? I think so.
Christopher Reeve from Superman, a real life super/man, and with his life's ironies, his last film role before the accident, he played a character in a wheelchair. He stated researching that role, he thought how he was glad. Yeah, they talked about that. He was like, I'm glad I'm not like this. Whatever. He was researching that role, the guy in the wheelchair, and then he ended up.
Oh yeah, he's just like, man,
And he was like, I wish I didn't take that for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing the Man of Steel to falling, which had only 3 possible outcomes: death, just another fall, or getting paralyzed. Great film, great documentary, great family. Without them all, I don't think he would have fought at all. For some reason, it's a 4-star.
This thing's peak 2-star.
Yeah. Bold captivating Superman is an inspirational thing. See, why are they giving it not 5? If it's a 5 and you're giving it like,
well, again, if you want, I'm not going to knock someone out. You know,
yeah, but like also
a 4-star's not bad.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, but you're giving all this praise, and I feel like it sounds like a 5-star, but you're not giving it a 5. You're not explaining why you're docking a point. Oh, I guess this person's talking about because he had other roles as Superman's, but it's focused a lot on Superman. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean that's his iconic role, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not gonna hear hey, what's Christopher Reeve from? You were like
3.5 stars. Excellent review of Christopher Reeve's Life and Loves. I want to see it again.
Not that bad, I guess. I get, but I mean, I know they. I mean, it doesn't even focus on Superman that much, though. I mean, it focuses on how obviously it was the big thing, and
they showed my favorite scene. Another 3.5, but it's not even okay. Well, they showed my favorite scene from Superman with the glasses in there, and then the sun was talking. They did that. Yeah,
that's my favorite scene. I was like, oh yeah.
But they did the thing with the glasses where he like straightens up or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they
then Lois comes back, puts somebody's like, well, Lois.
Well, Lois, I was thinking, yeah, it was.
I can imagine, like, being an actor, you got to switch different performances.
And the kids were talking about how like they were so impressed with that, which was cool because that's my favorite scene.
And dude was like apparently he's like really competitive with his kids. Like they'd be like, all right, Clark, all right, not Clark, excuse me, all right, Chris, slow down now, and he'll just fly down a mountain. It was awesome.
Yeah, there's at one point they went skiing, and he was already at the bottom of the mountain waiting for his kids.
They're waiting for him to come down. He'd like play catch with them. He'd when he was learning for the role, he'd go horse riding with his daughter to kind of can't figure out how to do it. And he was allergic to horses too.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard of that.
So I was trying to look for this review, but okay. I'm not gonna be able to find it for some reason.
That's really all I gotta say. I'll just point out, just go see it. Was it November 11th or
October 11th?
October 11th. Yeah, go see it.
Yeah, go see Super/Man: The Christopher Reeve Story. We're not getting. Like I said, we're not doing a number review. Just go watch it. And see the story. DC Studios' first ever produced project. Not obviously part of the DCU, but go check that out. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
And go watch Superman the movie.
Yeah.
And maybe Superman 2. I heard a lot of people, I didn't know this in that, a lot of people said Superman 2 is as good, if not better than Superman 1, which I've never seen Superman 2, so.
I've seen bits and pieces.
So it's interesting. That's something we definitely check out.
There's 2 different versions.
Next year.
There's the regular and then the Donner cut.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And if we're doing this Superman review series next year, then I don't know which one we'll do.
Well, I don't know. Maybe both. I don't know. Have to see.
But yeah, with that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. So thank you all so much for joining us for this review. Go check out the movie, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
See ya.